All right, all right. So first and foremost, let me introduce myself, who I am. Some of you know, some of you may not know, but my name is Dr. Rosalind Shaw Belt. Everybody calls me Dr. Roz. I am the CEO of Dream to Life Productions and Ministry. I'm a wife, a musician, a videographer. God's blessed me to do a number of things throughout the course of my lifetime. I am a licensed insurance agent, but I've been in ministry. So I'm not a medical doctor, but I am a certified wellness coach here at Akana. And I've got 2 doctorates in theology, one in theology and one in divinity. I love to inspire and to educate people, to motivate people, to empower people. And I hope that when you leave here tonight, you will be empowered. So that being said, let's keep moving. Let me tell you a little bit about the company that is allowing people the access to see what's going on in the cells of their body. It's Akana. It means in the hands of God. We launched in April 20th of 2019, started out with CBD products and essential oils. We moved on to wellness and weight management products. Then we moved on to what we call the flat belly lifestyle that I'm going to introduce to you tonight, that is actually doing what it says. We have over 27,000 customers, and we love to reinvest 1% of our gross profits to empower underserved communities. And we're proud to say we deliver a 5-star customer support. I want you to check out this video. Now, you heard me say that I'm a certified wellness coach. My doctorate's actually in theology and divinity, so I'm not a medical doctor. But I want you to hear, before we really jump into the meat of this, why this is so powerful to hear from this medical or these medical doctors. Check this out.
2/3 of adults are now overweight or obese, and we have an epidemic cascade of debilitating disease that's overcoming the country. There's no way we can sustain the current style of care with the epidemic that we're creating with our diet and lifestyle choices.
The diabetes, the arthritis, the heart disease, the dementia, the obesity, the cancers are affecting about 70% of deaths. All the data is that those 70% of deaths and morbidity are largely lifestyle related and preventable.
Most kids by age 10 in the US already have fatty streaks in their arteries, the first stage of atherosclerosis leading to heart attacks, strokes.
Here in American medicine, we operate from the disease model. We are in the business of treating sick people. We are not in the business of trying to prevent people from becoming sick.
When you look at chronic disease risk, all the things that we walk around worrying about, actually dietary choices trump smoking when it comes to those risks.
If I could deliver one message to the researchers who are looking for the cause of diabetes and the cause of clogged arteries and the cause of high blood pressure and the cause of obesity, I would tell them the answer's in 3 words. It's the food. It's what Americans are eating.
Now that blows me away every time I hear that, because these are professional people that are telling us it's in the food. And so that means that there's something we can do about it. That's what that means. We know that the top cause, we've heard this for many years, the top leading cause of disease is heart disease. And in 2020, nearly 700,000 people died from heart disease, but they didn't find out. 25% of them didn't find out until death. But 90% of that heart disease is preventable. So if you're on this call tonight and someone has already diagnosed that to you, then just know that the message that you're going to hear over and over and over again is that it's reversible and it is preventable. Second leading cause is cancer, right? Who doesn't know somebody in your family, in your sphere of influence, somebody that you know that has either passed on with cancer or they have cancer? And then COVID-19, since the pandemic, became number 3. But before COVID-19, the third leading cause of death was not what we think it is. Yes, it was medical error, being diagnosed incorrectly. So I want to touch on real quick the 5 causes, some of the 5 leading causes of disease. One is the lack of oxygen. And when you did your bioscan, it shows in certain areas where there may be a deficiency in the oxygen getting to your heart. The second thing is mucus and parasites. Mucus and parasites build up in our body, mainly because of our diet, mainly because of the food we eat, mainly because of the animal protein. Yes, 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 the meat. Whether that's beef, pork, chicken, turkey, doesn't matter what it is, that builds up. And then the cheese and the milk, and they told us milk does the body good, but it doesn't really do the body good. Over time, even our cooked food builds up mucus. I think we got somebody that's unmuted, if y'all can help me with that. Then we got toxins in our blood. Basically, listen, we eat all this processed food. We eat the burgers, we eat the chicken, we eat the French fries. Oh, I love French fries, y'all, I'm telling you. But packaged foods, we shouldn't even go down the middle of the aisle. All the stuff that's packaged and in the cans, so many different kinds of toxins. I had a godmother, well, she was a cousin actually, and she just had problems with the microwave. She just believed something was going on with those waves getting in your body. And she might have had some truth to that, because if we look at our lives, we're going through things in our body, especially women with fibroids and things that our great-great-grandparents didn't do because they went where? To the garden. Deficiencies, we're lacking deficiencies. Well, you know, one of the deficiencies we lack is vitamin D. Because, you know, even our kids, they don't go outside, they're indoors, they're in front of their computers. When I was a kid coming up, what did we do? We played kickball, we played tag, we played hopscotch, we did all these things outside. We couldn't wait to finish our homework. That was in my house, to finish our homework so we could go outside and play. And then we have an acidic body. Well, listen, you're going to learn tonight the difference between alkaline and having an acidic body, because disease cannot thrive in an alkaline environment. So you're going to make sure, we want to get you're here because we want to make sure we get you into an alkaline state. And then after you go through this process, we're going to teach you just a little bit tonight, but in the near future, because we want to continue to communicate with you. We're going to continue to teach you about what's toxic to your blood type. Did you know that based on your blood type, there are certain foods that may be toxic to your blood type, like poison to your blood type? You may be eating the very thing that's causing the inflammation. You may be eating the very thing that's causing disease. It's causing your body to feel stuffy and causing you to not be able to digest properly, depending on what your blood type is. So then the question is, do you know your blood type? Now, if you're on this call tonight and you do not know your blood type, listen, don't go a step further. Let's find out. We have a blood type testing kit. Takes about 10 minutes or more, about 10 minutes to know exactly what your blood type is. Doesn't cost that much at all. So you can find out what your blood type is. So whoever invited you here, they can make sure that you get that blood type test kit and find out, because you can actually do it yourself. I know you say, I'm gonna go ask my doctor. Well, I promise you, some of them may not even tell you. They're gonna wanna know why you wanna know. Why do I wanna know? Because it's my blood. Because see, if you knew that, then there are certain things you wouldn't be eating because they'd be toxic to your blood, or maybe you would minimize those particular things. Because as Dr. Prince, our naturopath, teaches us, it's not what you do some of the time, it's what you do all of the time. So if you're blood type A and you eat bananas every single day, right? You understand what I'm saying? So the bioscan that you took, it's a phenomenal, because I mean, it's been about 40 years that this bioscan has been taking place, but not in our country, because there have been scans here, but they don't calibrate the same way as the scan that you were privileged to experience. Albert Einstein said it best: the future of medicine is energy medicine. So that's what we did. We scanned the cells of your body in less than 2 minutes, because all of us got these cells, trillions of cells. They taught us that back in school. And the cells do what? They grow, they split, they regenerate, they die. They grow, they split, they regenerate, they die. So we're really not supposed to be any older than about 15 years, depending on which cells we're talking about, biologically. Chronologically, we grow older, but guess what? When our cells are not diseased cells, then guess what happens? Now we're in a position where we can age reversal. And yes, that's real. So this is biofeedback technology. It's based on quantum physics. It's based on what we call entropy, where the cells of your body get out of order. When you're perfect, when you're a child, they're in perfect order. But over time, because of what we eat, because of the toxins we breathe, because of the same things I just went through, those 5 things, those cause those cells to get out of order. Now, hopefully by now, you've jumped on, you've got your bioscan in your hand. So let's get to it. So there are certain things that are tested. And most of you have, we tested 6 different areas. We showed you 6 different areas of your body that we tested. So that's what the first column is. It's the testing item. Then the second column is what we call the normal range. They tested tons and tons and tons of people and came up with this normal range. And then the third one are yours. This is personal to you, nobody else. No 2 people are identical. It depends on what's been going on in your body since you were a teenager up until now. So let me say that again. This is not based on what you did last week, last month, or last year. People tell me all the time, well, I'm a vegan now, or I'm a vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian for the last 10 years. Well, what about the 10 years before that? You know, maybe you've changed your life. Maybe you've gotten wiser. Maybe you've made some changes. But if you have not removed or flushed out some of those toxins that you previously had, they don't just poof and disappear. So this is your actual measurements, the third column. And then the last one is the colors. We've got 4 colors: green, blue, yellow, and red. Green represents normal. Blue is mildly abnormal, or like I like to say, out of balance. Yellow is moderately abnormal or out of balance. And red is severely abnormal or out of balance. Now, out of balance is not disease, but it means you're going in the wrong direction. See, if I'm going to California and I'm driving east, I need somebody to tell me to turn around because I'm going in the wrong direction. That's the beauty of this bioscan. Every time a person sits next to me and they hold that wand in their hand, I'm in a position at that moment to help that person know which direction they're going, because if they're going in the wrong way, they're going towards heart disease. They're going in the direction of arteriosclerosis. They're going in the direction of kidney disease. I can stop that, but I can stop by at least letting them know, hey, you can turn around. And that's why this is so, so important. So as we get into this, you will see some things on the left and some things on the right. Now, as you look at your charts, we'll see some things on the left side of the green and some things on the right side of the green. Well, what does that mean? The left means decrease, the right means increase. In other words, the left means you're deficient. That particular item is not functioning as efficiently as it should. And on the right, it's not functioning, it's over functioning, or it's working harder than it should. So if it's blue, it's mildly not doing it. Or if it's yellow, it's moderately working harder. Or if it's red, it's severely working harder. So anything that's not green, we need to address, because a perfect situation is everything down the center in the green. So here we go, your first report. The first report that you took pictures of, the first report that you have that came in your email is called the cardiovascular and cerebral vascular. That's the heart and the brain. Now, all of the items on the left-hand side, except for the last 2, deal with the heart. The last 2 deal with the brain. And as I said earlier, normal range, then your measurements. Now, let's look at, and I'm going to pair some of these up because they relate to one another. I want you to look first and foremost at the first and the third one, blood viscosity and blood fat. Usually those will be lining up the same. Now in this example that we're looking at, they're both in the green, but what is yours? It'll probably be something on the right if it's not in the green. If it's in the blue or the yellow or the red, it means blood viscosity means thickness of the blood. It means your blood is thicker than it should be. And usually the reason it's thicker than it should be is because of blood fat tissues. Fatty tissues, where do those come from? It comes from that animal protein. It comes from the meat. And then when I say animal protein, when I say meat, people say, oh, I don't eat beef. Well, come on. It comes from chicken. It comes from pork. It comes from turkey. It comes from fish. And we're talking about over time. See, our body wasn't designed for it. I mean, I know, I got it. We've been programmed. We all love meat. You know, I understand. But the point of this is not to say to you that you have to stop eating meat. That's not my message. My message is is that if your tissues are fatter than they are, because if you've got blood viscosity and it's over there in the red, more than likely you're already on blood thinner. Even if it's in the yellow, it's getting thicker than it should. But the point is, we can reverse the direction by getting out the fatty tissues, flushing those tissues out so that we can reverse the direction and move back towards the green. Because if we continue going in the same directions, what area are we talking about? The heart. This is what's leading to heart disease. This is what will lead to the heart attack. This is what leads to all of those things when you got debris. Look, what if you had a clogged drain? When you take a plunger and unplug it, when you take some Drano, but now we've got these things going on in our blood vessels to the heart, taking this, it's like having a dirty heart. Then we've got cholesterol. Cholesterol comes from our food. It comes from our cooked food. It comes in so many different areas. It's okay, but when it's higher than it should be. And many of you have gone to the doctor, and your doctor will tell you your cholesterol's up a little bit. And sometimes that's all they say is just up a little bit. Tell me what to do about it. Tell me how to get it down. Okay, here, take this pill. I want to put you on statin. We have testimonies of people that refuse to be on statin, which is cholesterol medicine. And when they cleanse their body, when they detox their body just one time, cholesterol points drop 51 points. It's amazing. Now let's look at vascular resistance. Vascular resistance has directly related to two things: high blood pressure or stress. So what is that all about? We've heard of atherosclerosis. We've known people that have had it, but you don't understand what it is most of the time because nobody tells us. When we have plaque buildup around the walls of the body, of the blood vessels, that plaque builds up over time. And you'll hear me say that often, over time, not what last week, last month. This is over time. And if it builds up too much, as you can see in the third example here, that blood is still got to push through because God's going to keep you alive. It's not your time yet. So he's going to keep you alive. So now that blood pushes through. And the harder it has to push, because it's a blocked artery, it raises the blood pressure. And if it gets to this fourth artery here that's completely blocked, what is that? That's a heart attack or a stroke. That's an aneurysm. I mean, all these things are taking place because of a blocked artery. What's the solution? Unblock it. Remove the plaque. You will hear me say this over and over again: cleansing and detoxing the body. That's what brings the plaque out. And you'll hear us talk about things that we have in place within our company to help you get that plaque out. If you are looking at your report and you are over on the right-hand side in vascular resistance, and maybe you haven't been diagnosed with high blood pressure, then what about stress? I just was doing somebody the other day and they said, yeah, I'm under stress. I'm going through a whole lot of stressful stuff. And here's what I'm gonna say to you. I stop and tell every single person the same thing. If you're in the red and it's because of stress, you need to de-stress. Whether it's a people, person, or thing, I don't care what it is. If you can't go on a vacation, if you can't chill out, then you go put up a picture of the Bahamas in your bathroom, get in the bathtub and flap like a duck. You do something. Put on a comedy and get on the floor and just roll laughing. You got to do something. Put you some music on and just dance like you're crazy. But get the stress off of you. Stress is a silent killer. Vascular resistance. Now, these next things I'm going to talk about is vascular elasticity. But you notice I've got three different arrows pointing because the common word for each of these is elasticity. What is that all about? And if you're looking at your report, it should be on the, hopefully it's not on the left, but if it's not in the green, it's on the left. If it's in the blue, then your elasticity is mild. If it's in the yellow, it's moderate. If it's in the red, it's severe. What are we talking about elasticity? Well, our blood vessel is supposed to be like a rubber band, very elastic, so that the blood can flow through. But over time, because of our diet, plaque builds up and it gets hard. And we've all heard of hardening of the arteries. Well, when it gets hard, if it gets too hard, it breaks, like you see in the third example here. And when that breaks, that's called a heart attack or a stroke. So what do? Remove the plaque. The solution is to get the plaque out, and then we go back up to a healthy blood vessel. But as I said, there are 3 different ones on this particular report that you can look at: vascular elasticity, coronary artery elasticity, and cerebral blood vessel elasticity. Well, the vascular is around the heart. The coronary artery is actually on the heart. So either way, you may have it on the left with the vascular, you may have it in both vascular and coronary artery. Those fatty deposits are building up, obstructing the blood flow, or you may have that same elasticity problem in the brain. If you're on the left-hand side, in either of those 3 areas, please know this, that we can reverse this, and it's needed. We've got to reverse it. We've got to go in the other direction and get your blood vessels cleaned out, flushed out, detoxed out, so that your blood vessels can get back the elasticity so that the blood can flow properly. Next, we've got myocardial blood demand. Now, myocardial blood demand, and the next few things I'm going to talk about really have to do, and they relate to how healthy your heart is. It'll be on the right-hand side, in the blue, the yellow, or the red, if it's not in the green. And myocardial blood demand, see, every 60 seconds, the heart demands a certain amount of blood to get to your heart. And if it's not flowing as good as it should be, it has to work harder to accomplish that. And so when we relate to this, we go back to that elasticity. If your elasticity is not good and it's hard and you got a lot of plaque buildup, we know that the demand is not getting there, so it's got to work harder to make that happen. And then we've got myocardial blood perfusion volume and myocardial oxygen consumption. Now, all of these, again, relate to how healthy your heart is. See, blood perfusion, that's the process of blood circulation through the tissues of the blood. And that myocardial blood perfusion, it's related to the blood flow within the heart muscle. How healthy is your heart? If you're in the left, if you're in the blue, in the yellow, especially if you're in the yellow or the red, just know this, that blood is not flowing through and bringing the right amount of volume at the time that it should. And then the oxygen consumption. Every time your heart beats, there's a muscle contraction. And that heart muscle contracts, it pumps blood, and it delivers oxygen and nutrients to the rest of the body. And when the heart rate, let's say, for instance, when you exercise and you raise up your heart rate, guess what happens? You need more oxygen to come through the blood. And when the heart rate increases, oxygen consumption increases because the heart needs more oxygen for energy. Now, if you're looking at your report and you see that you are not in the green, then guess what? This is not functioning as well as it should be. And it's having to work harder. It's having to work harder to make this happen. And we're wondering, why are we so tired? We're wondering why we're going through in our body like we are. We've got to get this plaque out. We need your heart to be healthy. Next, we have stroke volume and pump power. I like to pair these two because I always say to people, it's a very easy solution to fix this. Now, let me say this first. Stroke volume does not mean that you're about to have a stroke. That's not what it means. Stroke volume is the same thing as contraction. Every time the heart contracts, it's called a stroke. Where is it on your report? Is it on the left? Yeah, it will be on the left. Blue, yellow, or red means it's not stroking as good or contracting as well as or as efficiently as it should. And pump power, the left ventricle, effective pump power, now we're not pumping as good as we should. Guess what? Easy solution. And I say it easy. Yes, it is. More cardio. You need some cardio in your life. Yes, exercise. So people often tell me, well, I'm a runner. I had a lady told me once, she said, I'm a runner. She runs all the time. She runs 3 miles, 5 miles, 10 miles. I say, but do you know, whatever you do, your heart can get used to that. It can get used to that pace. So you've got to increase the intensity. You got to hit high intensity sometimes. So if you're on a treadmill and you're doing a certain thing on a treadmill, give me 30 seconds of high intensity. Or if you're on a bicycle, give me 10 seconds of just really pumping those legs. Make it erratic so the heart has to work harder. And over time, because you do that, that heart gets healthier and more healthier.
No.
So all kinds of exercise. Somebody has you're unmuted. You don't recognize it. All kinds of exercise. There's no limit. There's no carte blanche way you do this. And it's not about going to the gym all the time. You could do these things at home. I remember many years ago, I did exercise with a lady on YouTube, and it was chair exercising. And we were exercising. Oh man, it was good. And all of a sudden I was huffing and I was puffing. And she got through and she said, okay, that's the warm up. I went the warm up, and this was just sitting in a chair. So there is no excuse, ladies and gentlemen, there is no excuse for us being able to get our bodies back in shape. Then left ventricle ejection impedance. Now, more than likely, you'll see that on the right-hand side, meaning there is an impedance causing the blood to not flow. See, the left ventricle is the area of your body that the blood goes to the rest of your body. Now, just imagine, I'm gonna use the example again. In your kitchen, you've got a clogged drain. We do something about it. We do something about it. So we need to do something about this, because now you're sending debris, that plaque buildup that's going through, toxins in your blood. Now we're sending it to other areas of our body, because that's the job of the left ventricle, to send the blood to the rest of the body. So it's so necessary for us to unclog it, detox it, and make sure that we have blood flowing throughout the other areas of our body. And then the coronary perfusion pressure. Now, we talked about perfusion pressure. So now the difference is, this is the coronary. Every time we say coronary, we're talking about on the heart. The same way we talked about perfusion with the myocardial perfusion, getting that oxygen to the heart. Well, guess what? Now the artery on the heart is having to work harder, because it would be on the right. You'll see it on the right, like you see in this example. It's on the right-hand side. So if it's working harder, everything is working harder or not working efficiently, it's always going to balance out, because that's the way God made our bodies. And he's going to keep us alive. So if something is not as efficient as it should be, something else is going to work harder. And then we talked about the elasticity in the brain. And also, let's talk about that brain tissue blood supply, that as well as the blood flow through the brain tissue in the brain. Oh my God, how important is that? So take a look at your report as it relates to the brain and the heart. And the thing that I love about the bioscan, it shows us where we are. Now, when we talk about the solution a little bit later in this presentation, we're going to show you what you can do. And I'm so proud to be able to say, my husband and I, we just started a new cleanse 2 days ago, on Monday. This is our second day of a 21-day cleanse. And we scanned before we started this time. And this will be, I think, our 4th one or 5th one. And I'm so happy to say my chart looked so much like what you're looking at right now. Matter of fact, this is mine, okay? But today, or yesterday, I scanned, and I now have all greens and 1 blue. All greens and 1 blue. Man, I was elated, because now my heart is in a better position, and I don't have to be concerned about heart disease or high blood pressure. Next, let's talk about the gut. Now, the reason the gut is so important, and this should be your second report, you have 2 reports that relate to the whole gastrointestinal and gut area. But the second one I want you to look at, pull that up. The reason this is so important, because if we had better gut health, we would not really be so frantic about the pandemic, about COVID, because 70% of your immune system is in the gut. So now let's take a look at this. There are 5 items in the gastrointestinal function. Those 5 items, and you're going to see the same word over and over again. So that's why I'm going to focus on these things. The first one is pepsin. Pepsin secretion coefficient. It would be, if you're not in the green, it's on the left. And 90% of the people that I scan have some difficulty in this area because most of us, that's why we call it flat belly lifestyle, because most of us need to get a flat belly. But it's not so much the flat belly, it's the waist that's causing that belly to not be as flat as it should be. There's a reason, there's a reason behind all of this. And pepsin is an enzyme. Pepsin is an enzyme that's made in the stomach that breaks down protein. Now, what does that mean? We're eating protein. We're eating animal protein. And now because we're eating animal protein, over time, that enzyme is working too hard. And it's working, it's trying to break it down. Most of us don't chew our food enough anyway. So now that protein, that pepsin has got to work to get that enzyme to break down the food that we're eating in. And over time, it gets tired and it stops functioning as good as it could. That's why it's on the left. It's not efficient. And you're wondering why you're bloated. You're wondering why your food is not digesting good. You're wondering why you're constipated. Because of that lack of pepsin functioning properly. Moderately, in this example, it's moderately deficient, moderately out of balance. Then we have gastric peristalsis. Here's the peristalsis. Now, just imagine you're eating food and there's a muscle that's breaking it down, chewing it up, because we don't chew it enough, and that muscle is contracting, causing it to go to our bowel movement. Again, we are overworking that muscle because over time we're eating our steak, we're eating our chicken, we're eating our beef, we're eating all these things we're eating, and it's having to work. And over time, again, here it is not functioning because we don't even recognize how we should be eating. We don't even recognize that even according to the Mayo Clinic, they said after you eat, it takes about 6 to 8 hours for food to pass through your stomach and your small intestines. The food enters your large intestines, your colon, for further digestion. So they say it takes a total of 36 hours for food to move through the entire colon. How many of you on this call, in 36 hours, you only eat one time? I don't think so. And that's why our intestines have food lining against the walls of our intestines. And then we're eating, trying to put food through. And you see how long it takes for these different foods to pass through to digest, and we've added some more food, and now you're wondering why you feel bloated. You're wondering why the food says I can't get through, and it goes back up, and then you're talking about acid reflux. Because all these various things that we're putting through and taking a very difficult time. But I want you to make sure you understand why this is happening. I don't want you just to understand what's happening. I want you to understand why it's happening. Our normal body temperature is 98.6. Now, if that's our normal body temperature, anything that we eat, any animal that we eat that has a higher body temperature than ours causes our body to work harder to digest because it's got to break down the protein and the oils in that animal. So therefore, what does it do? It stays in our body longer because it's difficult, because it has a normal body temperature higher than 98.6. Okay, I know you don't believe me, but check this out. The cow, 101.5 to 102. That's higher than ours. So that makes sense why it takes a more difficult time to break down anything that we eat from the cow. The pig. Oh, I love the pork chops. But look at that body temperature. Higher than 98.6. The turkey, higher than 98.6. The chicken, higher than 98.6. Way higher than 98.6. And fish, lower than 98.6. Oh my God. This is making sense now. So if I'm eating everything, or if I'm consistently eating things that are higher, I am making my intestines, I am making my gut, I am making the peristalsis, I am making the enzymes work so much harder. And now I'm sluggish and I can't do what I should do. I mean, check this out. So why can't the lion catch the gazelles? Because the lion is a carnivore. The lion eats flesh. The gazelles eat plants. That ought to tell us something. Now, in the gastrointestinal area, another thing that is sometimes not up to its optimum performance is the gastric absorption. Looking at your report, where is it? Is it in the blue, the yellow, or the red on the left? Or is it in the green? I hope it's in the green. But if it's not, it means that you are not absorbing efficiently. This is so powerful because oftentimes we're taking medication and we go to the doctor and the doctor says the medication is not working. Well, it could be that you're not absorbing it. If you're in the yellow, everything you're putting in, you could be taking vitamins and the whole pill might be going straight through because you didn't absorb it. There's an article about a landmine that people went to a landfill and they found tons and tons and tons of one-a-day vitamins whole that never got digested in people. Have you ever eaten something and seen the whole kernel of corn in your stool? Didn't absorb, didn't break down. So wherever your absorption is means you are not absorbing as good as you should be, and we need to clean up that gastrointestinal area. We need to flush it out. Now, if you had a toilet that was not flushed over a period of time, it would back up and it would be stinky. Can you imagine what that's going on inside of our bodies? When we got food that's been there, that's sitting on the walls of the body, and we're still adding more food to it. And the same thing happens with our small intestines and with the peristalsis and the absorption. See the same two names in our small intestine, same things. And then the large intestines, that's your third report. The large intestines, where are you on the large intestine? Is it in the left? As you notice, the same peristalsis, the same absorption in the colon, the large intestines area, and even intestinal bacteria because of what we've been eating, because of our diet. And then intestinal pressure is on the right because, see, that food goes through your intestines and it puts pressure on the walls of your intestines. And now it can only go so far. So it has to make that work harder just to digest because those walls are only a certain width. If you took your intestines and spread them out, it'd be the quarter length of a football field, but they're not spread out like that. Our fourth report is the liver. I take time when I'm talking to people about the liver because oftentimes what I see, when I see something in the red or the yellow around the heart, around the elasticity, I automatically know what I'm going to see when I get to the liver. Because you've got items here, you got protein metabolism, you got protein metabolism based on how you're metabolizing your protein, energy production, detoxification, bowel secretion, all of these relate to the functioning of your liver. But the fifth one there, liver fat, if you are out of the green, then guess what? You've got a fatty liver. And it's the non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. See, all of us were raised a certain kind of way that we think the alcoholics are the only ones who can have cirrhosis of the liver. Not so. Please understand that the reason we take the time to go through this with this bioscan, because if we absolutely do nothing, if you look at your scan and leave here tonight and do absolutely nothing, it will continue to progress in the wrong direction. That's what's happening. This is to show us we're going in the wrong direction. Let's turn it around. And you can. Because non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is the potentially fatal condition that is just like drinking a bottle of vodka every single day. That liver hardens. And I know maybe the doctor told you, because I had a lady tell me that. She said, my doctor told me I had a fatty liver. I said, well, what did he tell you to do about it? He said, we're going to watch it. Watch it? Watch it become fibrosis? Watch it become cirrhosis of the liver? No, understand the function of your liver, just like you have a vehicle. The one thing that you do that everybody does with their vehicle is they get an oil change every 3,000 or 5,000 miles, depending on the type of vehicle you have or a truck, but you get the oil change. And they don't just change the oil, they change the oil filter. Now, what if they didn't change the filter, but just changed the oil and sent the clean oil through a dirty filter? Guess what that would be? dirty oil. It would still be dirty with clean oil. Well, guess what the job of the liver is? To filter the blood. So that cholesterol, those toxins, those things that are going through your liver that should be filtered out with the help of the liver, when it's a fatty liver, it's not doing it well because it's gotten harder. And as it progresses with scar tissue that forms around it, you have more problems with your liver. And now you ultimately are sending dirty blood. And the last time I checked, scripture says that the life of the flesh is in the blood. The life of the flesh is in the blood. So we've got a blood problem, and there's power in the blood. I was sharing this with somebody the other day. There is power in the blood of Jesus. Guess what? There's also power in the physical blood. And then the last one we're going to look at, not the last one, we got two more. This one is the kidneys. Yes, the kidneys are our total function of filtration. It's like having our own filtration system in our body. And kidney disease is running rampant. But it's running rampant. I mean, you got fast food joints everywhere, and you got a dialysis center right down the street from them. Because our system knows that if we keep doing the same thing we're doing, we're destined to be right there. If you're looking at your report and you're looking at the first one, which is Bilirubin index, listen, I want you to understand that the excess of this index, it will be on the right, it can indicate liver disease, such as viral hepatitis, cirrhosis of the liver. And one of the things that causes this, when we look at the kidney, one of the things that causes this is medication. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. The toxins, the chemicals from the medication. When my father passed away, he passed away on dialysis. And he wasn't really that bad of an eater. He loved his fried food, but he wasn't that bad of an eater, but he had high blood pressure. And he had been taking high blood pressure medicine all his adult life. And over time, the chemicals from the blood pressure did damage to his kidneys. And then if you're looking at your uric acid, and that uric acid is anywhere from blue, yellow, or red, especially if it's in the yellow or red, you're going in the direction of gout. Uric acid directly is related to animal protein. And when I see somebody is in the red, I can say, boy, you sure love your meat, don't you? Right? You sure love your meat. And even the blood urea nitrogen index, all of those are related to it. The protein urea in the index. Listen, our body naturally produces protein, Blood urea nitrogen is a waste product. It's a way, see, the kidney is supposed to be a filtration system, but if it's not filtering, then all of a sudden now, over time, now that's why they have to put us on a dialysis machine to filter it for us. And that's more chemicals. And see, when the protein urea, listen, it's not a disease in and of itself, but is a symptom of certain conditions affecting your kidneys. Too much protein in the urine. Too much protein in the urine. Our body produces protein naturally, but when we overindulge in our meat, in our animal protein, and I gotta tell you, I don't want you to think when I say meat, I only mean beef. Anything that's got eyes. When we overindulge in it, what is overindulging in it? Eating it all the time, every day, multiple times a day. We start out with our bacon, then we go to our chicken, then we go to our beef. Yeah, that protein overlaps and bleeds into the urine. Kidney disease. There are 5 stages of kidney disease. And it's been estimated that every 30 seconds, a leg is being amputated. Those that deal with diabetes, the leg ends up being amputated. So we can change the situation. We can reverse it. I need you to say it, point to yourself. This is not doom and gloom. This is education. And you point to yourself, I can reverse this. And last but not least is your body acidic. when you look at this last report, it definitely lets you know several things. How's your response ability? Have you ever been in a position where you snapping at everything, your response time? I mean, you're not reacting, you're responding. And if it's on the left, it's not, your responsibility is not functioning as efficiently as it should. Your mental power, your water shortage, that's the whole body, because water protects your body, your water shortage, the hypoxia, the oxygen in your whole body, and the pH. Oh my God, pH. We've heard that term, but maybe not understood it. It has to do with whether your body is acidic or alkaline. Why is that important? Or do you understand it? Well, if you don't, here's how I break it down. You go to the store, you buy a Duracell battery, it's an alkaline battery. You put it in your player, you put it in your remote, you put it in your devices, and it plays and it plays and it plays and it plays, and then finally it starts playing, and it just slows down and it plays. Why? Because it's lost its alkalinity. Now it's acidic. Same thing with our body. Diet, toxins, and stress cause the body to become acidic. Well, let's talk about diet. Let's get the diet part of that acidic, because now we need to know where we are. And guess what? It's everything that's on the left. Everything that we see on the left-hand side of this pH spectrum, which is where most of us, for some period of time in our lives, have eaten. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then we don't like water, so we're not even drinking enough water. And then we should be drinking alkaline water, water that has a higher pH level. We should live our lives over at 7, 8, 9, and 10. Am I saying you should be a vegan? Am I saying you should be a vegetarian? Am I saying you should go plant-based? I'm saying you should do all of that if you choose to do all of that. But whether you choose to do all of that or not, you definitely should choose to incorporate more of 7, 8, 9, and 10. Why? Because disease cannot thrive on that side of the spectrum in an alkaline environment, but it thrives over in 3, 4, 5, and 6. If a person has cancer and they change, they would have to drastically go cold turkey and go fruits and vegetables, raw fruits and vegetables, cooked fruits and vegetables, live over there and drop the meat completely. So we got to stop eating the crap. I love this flyer when I saw it. I saw this post on Facebook and I took it and I said, I got to have that. We got to stop eating crap. The carbonated drinks, the refined sugars, the artificial foods, and the processed foods. I know, don't shoot the messenger. I know we love it, but it's crap. And this purpose of this presentation, this purpose of me and people that work with me and my business partners and all the business partners that may be on here, if they invited somebody and you're here because they gave you a bioscan, it was because they want to blow the trumpet. It was because I live in Houston, Texas, and we have hurricanes. Matter of fact, it's hurricane season right now. And when they say it's a hurricane warning, they flash on the television and we do something. We go to the store, we buy extra groceries, we go get water, we go get everything that has batteries in case it comes, in case the electricity goes out, in case it may not even hit. We've had warnings that it didn't even happen. But when they give us a warning, we do something about it. I am saying to you tonight, here's a warning. You look at your results and decide what you're going to do about it. Flush your body. Everybody, regardless of who you are, regardless of how tall, short, fat, skinny you are, everybody needs to flush their body with a cleanse and get out the toxins, the mucus, the waste, the parasites, the plaque buildup, and then juice with fruits and vegetables. That's our program. We have a program to help you. Yes, we didn't come to just tell you this is your problem, this is what you got, and not give you a solution to it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop and I'm going to open up and share a woman that's here to work with, that works with me right by my side. I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of her and her daughter and the things that they're accomplishing in their lives. Miss Anna Gallagher. She's a mother, she's a grandmother, she's an entrepreneur, she's an econopreneur, and she's a certified wellness coach, and she loves people. She's going to share with you what you can do now to reverse it. Miss Anna, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to talk to you about how to reverse the body. You can take our 7 or 21-day raw cleanse. One of the best ways to elevate your energy is by detoxifying your body with daily juices and daily juice recipes. You get an approved grocery list that helps you with your raw meal plan. Number 3, the 21-day cleanse product. The first one, step number 1, is called the Eliminator. And the Eliminator, it eliminates your body of mucus and parasites. It is a powder. You take 1 teaspoonful every morning in 8 ounces of water, and it helps get the mucus out of your system. Number 2 is going to be the purifier. This cleans the colon and detoxifies the body organs. It is full of herbs and minerals. This has a tea bag in this package. You would boil about 45 ounces of water, drop the tea bag in it, turn the eye off so the water can stop boiling, press the tea bag down in it, put a lid on it, let it sit overnight. Each day before 8 p.m., drink you 4 ounces of it. It cleanses your body. Get some of that, some of the parasites, some of the bacteria out of the walls of your gut, out of your body. Our number 3 product is called the Regenerator. This step, it replenishes your body with vitamins and minerals. It is also a powder. You would do 2 teaspoons full in your juice. Did I not tell you that you are going to be juicing? You're going to drink 16 ounces if you're a lady, 24 ounces if you're a man, and this is going to be 3 times a day. Before or after your breakfast, before or after your noonday meal, before or after your last meal in the evening. You're going to put 2 teaspoons full of this in your juice. Now, there's some other items that you will need to add with it. You will have your alkaline water. That's the bottle that you're seeing to your left. It might possibly be your right. You're going to have your aloe vera juice. You're going to have your cayenne pepper. You're going to have your liquid chlorophyll. You're going to have your flax oil seed. All of these will be additional products that you will use in your juice. Of course, the water, you won't be using it in your juice. You'll be drinking it to help get your body to that that alkaline state. These are just a few of the grocery list add-ons before the cleanse. These are some of the places you can purchase some of these items. We are just giving you suggestions. You can purchase them wherever you shop or wherever you choose to shop. A 7-day requirement. Some of the places, Amazon, H-E-B, Trader Joe, Whole Food brands. But as I said, you can purchase wherever you choose to do so. With that being said, I'm turning it back over to you, Dr. Roz, my mentor, my chase after her, hanging on tight, as we all know. Awesome.
Thank you, Ms. Anna. And now we're going to get to the last part and we'll be done. And we're going to ask you to get back with the person who invited you here, the person who did your bioscan. Because here's what we need you to do. Here's what we hope that you will do. Take the challenge. Take the pledge. If you want to do the 21-day, and I know, listen, 21 days is a long time, but you can do it. You'll be surprised what happens with your body. Your body is wanting this. And those toxins, now listen, and before you do these, we always want to get back with you because we want to go over your regimen with you, what Miss Anna just did, but in even greater detail, line by line. We're going to walk you through this. We're going to coach you. That's what we do. We coach you. One of the things that makes our cleanse and our detox and our reset different is that you don't do it by yourself. It's not like going to the store and buying a cleanse and all of a sudden you're just left out there by yourself. No. For $2.99, you can get the 21-day cleanse. And matter of fact, on our website right now for this month, there's 10% off. So it's going to actually cost less than that. And if you're a first-time customer, you're going to get an additional 10%. So we're going to bring it down, bring it down. If you're going to do the 7-day cleanse, it's going to be $119. And everything that you need to do it, we're going to give you the regimen and everything on paper. It's in writing. There are juice recipes that you will be juicing, not smoothies. So you will need a juicer. Or we can share with you people that we have come in contact with that can make the juice for you, because you might be a busy person, you know, and you don't have time to do the juicing part because it takes a little time. But we got people that you can pay them to do the juicing for you if that's the case that you need. But you're going to get a free ebook that just explains everything, explains what you go through when you do the cleanse, because sometimes your body reacts a certain kind of way, and we want you to know what's going on, that you won't say, oh, no, I can't do this. No, yes, you can. You've got to do this because you've seen your bioscan. And last but not least, I want to say this, because I was just in Monroe, and I unfortunately, because of situations, Miss Anna was dealing with her daughter, and her daughter was ill at the time, and she was just recovering, and she's doing fantastic now. I'm so grateful for that. But I did this event by myself, and I didn't get to do everybody, because we need coaches. And if you're on this call and you have a love for people, you have a desire to help people, and you saw, and whoever did your bioscan, you saw what they did, you saw their concern for you, you saw how they were able to explain to you, and how you've heard some more tonight of how to explain this. We teach you how to do that through our whole course to become a certified coach. If you're that person, please get back with the person that invited you to this call tonight. Get back with the person who did your bioscan and say, listen, not only do I want to do a cleanse, because to be a coach, you must do a 21-day cleanse. That's the first requirement. But then you go through a complete certification. And for the $14.99, you can become a wellness coach. And for an additional $500, so let's just say $2,200, I'm gonna round it off, right, with the taxes, you can become a coach and get the scan equipment, if that is your desire. Just want to make sure you're aware of that, because we want coaches in every city and every state around the country, helping and changing the lives of people. And then if you are one of those persons that say, well, I do want to, do the cleanse. I want to do a 7-day cleanse, or I want to do a 21-day cleanse. Well, we've got packages that you can do that, and even have a website to go along with it where you start the business for yourself. Because guess what's going to happen? Every one of you, whoever does the cleanse, 7 days or 21 days, some transformation is going to take place. And somebody's going to ask you, what did you do? What are you doing? You're looking good. You're glowing. I see you done lost some weight. Wouldn't it be good for you to be able to say, okay, this is what I did, or refer them to somebody and say, can you tell them what we did? Because that's what we call a three-way call. And then you can send them to your website. How easy is that? So we make it available for you to be a customer, or you may want to join us and be a business partner on some level, or you may want to be the wellness coach. But either way, we want you to elevate with us, and welcome to the family. So we're going to stop. I'm going to open up the floor in case we have any questions.
Dr. Roz, I have a comment.